to it. Does Hulk Hogan deserve all the hate? I'll repeat, does Hulk Hogan deserve the hate level that he is getting? We saw him booed out of the building on Netflix. We see what the internet got to say about him, and for so many reasons. Sammy, the real American beer drinker himself, what do you think? Does Hulk Hogan deserve this hate? And is it possible to separate wrestler from person in this case?
Absolutely. I think that's what everybody's biggest problem is. They don't know how to separate the talent side of people to the personal side of people. Let's be honest, David. Majority of us are never gonna have dinner with this guy. Majority of us are never gonna take this guy, to go to his house. We're not gonna, actually have a personal meeting with this guy. Like most of us, we're probably never gonna see Hulk Hogan in a lifetime. Let's
Mm-hmm.
be honest right now. Why does this much hatred have to come for somebody you probably never gonna be in arm's length of? It doesn't make any type of sense. It really doesn't. We need to just appreciate the fact that the man is probably the godfather of wrestling. It's just let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Without Hulk Hogan, we don't get the boom of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. Without Hulk Hogan, we don't get the boom of WCW.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. Without Hulk Hogan, we don't even get the boom of that goody two shoes gimmick. Simple. Without Hulk Hogan, we don't get the long mainstream title runs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get that. Remember, he held it for like 4 years,
Yeah.
and it was over at each year. So, like, he set the trend for a lot of things. If we just put our feelings to the side and actually appreciate the man. And Dave, you want to know something? I was actually thinking about something long and hard for a few nights. This is kind of part WWE's fault why he even got these kind of boos, right? Because every time they bring him back, I don't think they should bring him back with the same red and yellow gimmick, trying to suck up the people, trying to just be everybody's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the day, we know there's a bunch of PC police out there. There's a bunch of people who can't handle truth, who can't handle, putting their feelings to the side. So I think they should let Hulk Hogan just use that. Use it. Come
Mm-hmm.
out in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Come out with some black and white gear. Come out with Big Kev. Talk shit. Just talk your shit to these people. I guarantee you they'll love that way more than they love what the hell you doing.
Interesting. I appreciate everything you just said, and honestly, it was facts. And I think most people who have followed the professional wrestling business know all of that is facts. He is the guy who showed that it's possible to take this business, what started out as a small territory business of professional wrestling. He proved the first one to prove that, look, I could transcend wrestling. I could be a mainstream star. I could sell merch like nobody's business. I could have a cartoon. I could premiere on all the night shows and mainstream appearances. He definitely he deserves all those flowers as a professional wrestler. I think honestly most reasonable and true fans of wrestling believe that, and they do give him his flowers. They understand that you can't tell the history of wrestling without acknowledging Hulk Hogan. What I will say mostly about the Netflix things in particular, and a lot of Hogan's recent appearances, because even though he wasn't booed in his recent appearances as hard as he was on Netflix, you can see that not many people are that excited to see Hulk Hogan in general. Um, yeah, I do think we're in a politically correct society, but and you know me, I'm big on separating wrestler from real person, artist from real person. But I will say this: Hulk Hogan understands that we live in the internet age and people aren't gonna let you forget about what you did. And he did the context he used the N word in. he didn't use it in a pleasant context. Now, honestly, I personally, as an individual, this is David speaking, I would be willing to let that slide. But I'm gonna be honest, the part that did kind of rub me the wrong way individually is Mark Henry coming on record saying, he chopped it up with Hogan. Hogan said he was sorry, and he kind of said, Hogan, since you're sorry, go to these colleges, go on a mini tour, and go to these black schools and interact with the black community. I will say that part is a little, that's a flop on Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan got to take accountability on that part. Because word on the streets is Mark Henry says he turned it down. Like, listen, like you said, I'm with you. We're never going to meet the guy. we're, we're never going to meet the guy. We're never going to have dinner with the guy. I think we all get that. But I think what fans have a bad taste in their mouth is you were that racist that you couldn't just do the principal thing. Hold on, let me land. You couldn't do the principal thing and just go on the tour. Hell, even if you were faking it, you could have just shook hands, kissed the babies, and went through the motions and smiled. But you couldn't even do that. I think that is in people's heads and at the front of people's minds. And we can't sit there and say that's completely unreasonable. Now, as far as what you said about maybe using them as a heel, I think that could be fun. That would be fun, and it would be wrestling 101 or giving people a reason to boo and get heat. But I just think by and large, people understand what he's done for wrestling, but for the most part, people aren't excited to see him. Like what is there to get excited for? He's gonna plug his beer. He's gonna say the what you're gonna do. I just think the audience legitimately passed him by. They don't want to see Hogan at his literally elderliest point. Just like as good as Flair is, people aren't begging to see him take up TV time. They would rather that TV time go to a The Rock, go to a Cody Rhodes, go to somebody else. I just think in general, it is a combination of people being politically correct, but I can't blame them for having that fresh in their head. And I honestly think that they shouldn't even put them on TV, man. Just do some pre-tape vignettes if you have to, and call it a day.
Yeah. I gotta disagree with both of those things, Dave. Like, let's be honest, man. We can't sit here and say that time has passed them by and nobody wants to see the man. When they first started bringing the man back, that's not the reactions that was coming out. You know, at WrestleMania 30, he's there with Austin. He's there with Rock. I remember vividly all three men getting a great standing ovation. All
Yeah,
all
but
three
that
men.
was that was a little bit before this Mark Henry publicizing that he refused to go on the apology tour, and
Right,
before people are gonna
right,
take politics seriously, and before he really was on Trump publicly,
right.
that's fresher
But
in people's heads.
not because even after he endorsed Trump, he made a few appearances after that, still,
Yeah,
and it was still going. So I really think people hate to see is they hate to see him come and do the same thing over and over and over and over and
I
over.
do think they hate that too.
I
But
think
what
I
more
think
can you
that's what
really
the real
do it?
beef is.
What more
He's
can you
coming
really
out
do with him?
saying, "Oh, uh, listen, let me tell you something, brother.
And he's
I did this
stumbling. He's
30 years
stumbling
ago.
over his words a lot.
I did this 30 years ago, and you people still love me then, and you still love me now." And
Mm-hmm.
I think people are just tired of the same speech, the same spiel. Like, come on now. Like, I guarantee you, if you change shit up, let them come out with the NWO theme, let them wear some black and white gear, let them talk some real life stuff. I guarantee you he gets a different reaction. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. Because fans now, they love when reality comes into wrestling. Let's be real, David. They love that shit. They're suckers for it right now.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I honestly think we get a different tone if he just changes, do a little makeover.
Well, I agree with you to a certain extent on the use it to your advantage for the show. But what is he gonna do? Who is Hogan gonna draw heat for?
Let him
Like,
be someone's manager.
that's not happening.
Why not?
I mean, it's just not. You see Hogan following somebody around and putting them over. Hogan put himself over, man.
Yeah, he would do it in a real structure. Let's not forget, Hogan only put himself over in companies where he could. When he was really dealing with Vince McMahon later in his days when he was old as shit, what happened? Vince McMahon would let all the fresh young dudes put a pounding on this dude, and he would have to take that
Yeah,
every single time. Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, all the youngest dudes that needed some heat, Big Show, like when they needed some heat, they would use him the same way they use every other old fossil.
yeah, for
But
fact.
obviously, when he's standing next to, like, that's what I'm telling you, like that putting himself over stuff is a little overblown. He only got away with that when he was with Bischoff. When you in real structure, you gonna put people over, Hogan.
Yeah, but I think I think Hogan. I think Hogan, because of age, because of the landscape of things, he could only fit in these one-off little situations if you're gonna do it. Like I
I
don't,
agree.
I don't see him. I just don't see him managing someone permanently. Maybe,
No.
maybe a
Mm-mm.
rub, maybe a segment, but
Mm-mm.
I don't. I just don't see it, man. I really
I'm
don't.
saying, no. I don't think he should be on constant TV. But maybe stand next to somebody for a pay-per-view or two.
Maybe.
Maybe stand next to somebody for like one special Raw or something, or one special SmackDown. Stand next to somebody for something like that,
That
or
might. That
maybe over
might. That might be effective if you pick the right
or
wrestler.
maybe on one Saturday Night Live, or maybe a Saudi Arabia or something like that.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
those
I feel
special
you.
things.
I feel
Like
you.
well, we obviously don't want to see this man week to week to week to week to week. No, hell no,
I
hell
feel
no.
you. No,
But
I feel you.
one of those things, yeah, it could work. And here's the second thing I disagree with: was Mark Henry really expecting Hulk Hogan to have balls to go in front of predominantly black crowds?
Yeah, bro.
You kidding me?
You know how many people,
Hogan ain't got no balls for that, man.
you know how many people who have been in similar situations that at least that did at least went on an apologies tour or at least did damage control. Yo, that's what every professional does, dog. Just show that you learned from it, or at least you try to learn from it, and do the damage control.
He's not from
Like
that time, Dave.
everybody does it.
Nah,
Everybody.
that's not true. He's not from that time. He's from the time where you just let stuff die down and you come back.
But this is the
But
thing. This is where Hulk Hogan got to eat it. The dog.
yeah, he
We're
does.
in a time where people ain't gonna let you forget, bro. Like
I agree. Yes,
like they're just gonna keep doing it. They're gonna bring it up. They're gonna disrupt the show and bring it up. They're just going to, and
I agree.
I think he knows that. I think that leaves a bad taste in my mouth, man. Mark, especially it coming from Mark. Mark is a guy I feel like you could trust in the business, who never plays anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't have thrown them a bone.
Mm-hmm. I believe him. Yeah.
So he got to take this, bro. Because
Mm-hmm.
even on that Netflix thing, you saw. Listen, I'm no body language expert, but you saw he was shooken up. That he was surprised he got booed,
He was
bro.
shocked. He was shocked.
Because he's like, "What the hell? I'm Hulk Hogan. Real American played. Like everybody likes that song. What the hell? Like, and I'm sorry, his promo skills suck now. I'm with you. If he came
I
as a
disagree.
NWO, I'm with you. I'm willing. If they went that route, I would give him a fair shot to prove me wrong as a heel. But every time he comes, he's stumbling, he's uncomfortable, he's forgetting things. I just dog, you gotta make your TV time effective, even if it's 5 minutes, man. Even if it's a promo. That's just me. Why
No,
why
yeah,
why use a guy who's just but beyond the racist piece of crap that he is, the I'll postpone that. He's not being effective. That's where I'm at.
and I'm with what you're saying. See, that's the thing. I'm with what you're saying 100%. But Dave, it's also a rhythm thing, right? The crowd's not gonna allow this man to get in a rhythm and give us the same shit you was giving us in the '80s. They're not gonna allow that. They're fed up. They because at this point you're basically blatantly running somebody over and saying no, that wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's basically what he's doing. Like you're lying blatantly to the people. You're not a real American. It's 2025. We know. You know what I'm saying? Like we know you're not this noble dude who just loves everybody and
and
kisses
that's
babies.
and that's where I want to let you cook, but I gotta quickly add into more context and where
Yeah,
I'm from. That's why this is fresh in people's heads, Sammy, because the wrestling's weird. Wrestling's acting, but wrestling's not like Hollywood acting. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
we when we see if we obviously Denzel Washington's played in many movies. If we see Denzel, we'll say, "Oh, that's Denzel. He played in Man on Fire and all these movies." When you see Hulk Hogan, you're not gonna say that's Terry Bollea. You say that's
right,
Hulk Hogan. So a
right,
guy that made it his brand, wrestling has a unique way of, even though we know it's predetermined, your brand is you. Like that's you when we see you. So a guy that was real American, that his brand was attached to him, that he loved everyone and he fights for the right of every American.
right,
He's getting caught that he doesn't care about black Americans. So it's like
right.
you fucked up your brand in a way. You fucked up your brand, and you could have just kept quiet. That
And
that's part of why people is fresh in people's minds, man.
yeah, and again, I agree with everything you just said, and I'm gonna pile on. Again, we know, we're living in a world where we could pull out our phone and just type in Hulk Hogan. Bunch of negative stuff is gonna come up. We can we can go to several different TV channels. You might pop up with some scandal. So we know, like with all the stuff going around, we know. So now, here's where I gotta disagree with the mic skills that suck, because we literally everybody blatantly knows your track record ain't good, but yet you're still coming out here trying to force the same speech,
Mm-hmm.
trying to force the same lines, trying to convince people
Mm-hmm.
that you that same dude from the '80s. I guarantee you, if you tell Hogan, cut all that shit out, stop all that shit, go out there and try to make them hate you, I guarantee you Hogan sounds 10 times better. I guarantee you.
That's a strong ass
I
guarantee.
guarantee you, bro.
Why? What makes you so optimistic? Because he did it in the '80s and '90s.
Yes, because it's all about getting your rhythm back. It's all about David. You can never catch a rhythm if you're sitting here trying to force people to love you when you know damn well they don't love you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you going out there and saying, "Yo, just pile on, make them hate you," you can't tell me he can't trash talk them into making them boo him even more.
I would only, like I said, I would, if they went that right, I would give it an open mind. But for me, it would have to be a wrestler that makes sense and a wrestler that you're actually trying to elevate. I would
And
be
it
open to seeing it.
and it doesn't necessarily even gotta go that far, David. Just the next time you want him to come promote that beer, stop making it the same old spill. Come out there and be like, yo, I didn't forget what y'all did to me last time. Y'all all pieces of crap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The man who gave the most to this business, the most, that's the person y'all booed. He can get away with simple lines like that. You can't tell me he can't get away with just saying simple, ungrateful lines like that.
He can. He
You know
probably
what I'm
can.
saying? Like, and even if it don't sound A plus plus plus, David, I guarantee you it's gonna be better than what the hell he did last time. that was a waste of TV.
It was. It really was. It really
That was
was.
a waste
They
of
could have.
TV.
They could have fit in somebody else, even a squash match or another promo.
Come on now, that was a waste of
It was a
television,
waste.
bro. That was a waste of like what was it? 6 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
5-6 minutes? Like that was a waste.
My man, let Jimmy Hart get crossed in the crossfire. It was
Come
nice
on
to
now,
see
even
Jimmy.
he looked confused and
Yeah, he
shocked.
was confused though.
He just looking left and right.
Yo, shout out to Jimmy Hart, though. But nah, I would be open to it to see what happens, but they need to stop acting like I feel like whatever they're gonna sell with that beer is gonna sell on their own marketing. I don't think Hulk Hogan taking up TV time is gonna make people be like, yo, I gotta buy this. I think it's gonna sell itself. That's just where I'm at. But I would be open to seeing it because we haven't seen them try it. I would be open to seeing it, and I would hope somebody like a baby face could to get the best of him on the microphone or get the rub. Somebody could get a rub from him if they were to go that route. But I'll just conclude with this. Like I said, wrestling, even though it's acting, for some reason people aren't gonna say, oh, that's Terry Bollea who played Hulk Hogan. They're gonna say that's Hulk Hogan. Like, could you imagine if John Cena, we all know John Cena, if John Cena got caught saying the N-word, anything with Hulk Hogan, he would face the same shit.
Same thing.
Because he's basically made his wrestling persona his whole brand. I make a wish. I donate the most Make-A-Wish. I shake all the hands. I love everybody. I'm nice to everybody. I'll put over anybody. I'm a company guy. Like, I just think that people underestimate that point because wrestling's just a unique business that way. Like, we're gonna call you who you are on TV, even though we know it's a work.
Yeah. Because characters are always the best when it's a little bit of actually you. They made that clear a long time ago. Like that when reality is sprinkling in, fans are suckers for that. Like I said earlier.